to the Film and TV channel. We've got a big one for you today, an interesting one. I was looking forward to this. Yes, we're going to have a look at Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm going to give you what other people's views are, a little bit about the film, and then my little thoughts on it just to finish off. 124 minutes, a 12A certificate, this one. Supernatural comedy, of course it is. Film directed by Jason Reitman, who co-wrote the screenplay with Gil Kenan. The film stars Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, and Paul Rudd. Yeah, Paul Rudd does a good job in it. I quite like Paul Rudd in this. I quite like him as a character. Also, we get Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, and Annie Potts reprising their roles from the original films. Of course, it's a sequel to Ghostbusters 1984. That's debatable, having seen it. And Ghostbusters 2 in 1989, both directed by Reitman's father, of course. And in this film's producer, Ivan, and the fourth film overall in the Ghostbusters franchise. This is set 32 years after the events of the second film, not the first film, the second film. A single mother and her two children move to a small town in Oklahoma, where they discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and their grandfather's secret legacy, of course. We all know, like, soon becomes aware. We soon realise who they're related to, of course. It's a female, of course. We did get a female-driven reboot, didn't we? Directed by Paul Feig and released in 2016. But obviously that drew a lot of controversy. This doesn't seem to be having the same effect amongst fans of the original. It was a bit of a box office failure. Yeah, it cost $144 million to make that one, this 2016 version, and it recouped $229, which sounds okay. $229 million, it sounds okay, but they have to sort of recoup about 3 times the budget just to break even. So, quite a big loss on that one by the looks of it. And it did score 6.5 out of 10, which is okay. It's not bad. I mean, but I quite liked it. I quite liked it with the ladies. It didn't bother me one iota. I certainly enjoyed that one anyway. I'll tell you about this one in a minute. So that's 6.5 out of 10. I think was pretty reasonable. Of course, Jason Reitman please, my apologies how it's pronounced, developed a sequel to the original films. Is it any good? Well, it's at 12 noon, as I took the scores for this one on the 20th of November 2021, 12 noon UK time. Rotten Tomatoes, based on 193 reviews, it's getting an average of just 6 out of 10. So just that little figure I like to see, that figure that says it's watchable, in my opinion, 6 out of 10. With 117 fresh, but 76 rotten, so quite a lot of rotten reviews. Kevin Mayer is rotten. He's from The Times here in the UK. He said, a shamefully flat mishmash rehash. Yep, and Danny Lee is fresh, though. He's from the Financial Times, so he's got a different opinion. Your response to the aggressively wistful Ghostbusters Afterlife may depend on the strength of your connection to the original. Both of those comments I would probably agree with, even though one's fresh and one's rotten. Interesting. The site's critics' consensus reads, Ghostbusters Afterlife crosses the streams between franchise revival and an exercise in nostalgia, and this time round the busting mostly feels good. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes audience, they love it. Well, the audience are quite positive. 4.7 out of 5. That's 9.4 out of 10. That's high. That's very high. Metacritic, we have a look at that, don't we? Only 47 out of 100 based on 40 critics. But it does score anywhere between 50 and 90 out of 100. Entertainment Weekly's Christian Holub gave it 58 and said, there are some jokes here, not many. Paul Rudd brings a little lightness to the proceedings as a kid's science teacher, Mr. Gruberson, but it's hard to escape the overall sensation of, a corpse being exhumed. Empire, though, Empire's Ollie Richards, he gave it 80 out of 100. He liked it. It's always fun, inventive and full of charm. And if you have any concerns that Jason Reitman's film might sully the legacy of his dad's greatest creation, there's nothing to be afraid of. Well, perhaps so, Ollie, I'm not too sure. Internet Movie Database, this is where we look at, isn't it? 8,179 reviews, which is quite a lot at this early doors. It's only been out a couple of days. 7.8 out of 10. Can't quibble at 7.8 out of 10. What I will quibble with though, is obviously there's 2,247 of those 8,179, over a quarter, give it 10 out of 10. Really? Ringers, something going on there? Sorry, this is nowhere near a 10 out of 10. I am so sorry. respect to anyone who did give it 10 out of 10, but I've never seen so much guff in all my life. So if you take out a 10 out of 10, it's still got to give me a positive result for it. But don't I just laugh. It's just laughable, 10 out of 10. So if you take out that quarter of that figure, and you take out the 1 out of 10s, which amounts to about 159, which is just as unfair as well, if in all honesty. You're left with 5,773 reviews in the old Bernard system of doing things. Things stuck in. And of course, we get only 421 scored it between 2 and 5, and 5,352 scored it between 6 and 9 out of 10. So still very, very healthy. 93% positivity. So you're getting back up to the 8 out of 10s, aren't you, if you take the average on that one? Right, so here we go. My little thoughts to sum up this. I think the scores are very, very impressive, certainly as far as the watching public. Not all the critics agree, and I must admit I agree with some of the critics who didn't really get on with this one. I can't understand for the life of me how any fans of the original can say anything about this other than it's okay. I can, if I had to, score it a watchable 5, 6 out of 10 at a pinch, but no more than that, because it's just a rehash. It's just a rehash. Yes, for people who've not seen the original, don't know the story, not seen the original numerous times, which I have. I mean, I've not watched it for a long time, but I know the story off by heart. Of course I do, because I love that film. It's a great film. But of course, a younger generation who don't know it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's if they don't know anything about the original, I would give it a high score, but I just can't believe some of those scores that are being given, and certainly can't believe anyone who grew up or was an adult with children watching that original Ghostbusters would think anything different than it was okay. And that's my opinion. It's okay. It's switching it. I mean, switching it to younger people actually means we lose some of that adult fun and humour that the guys brought us. We don't get that. We get silly jokes. We get youngsters saying things that might be funny for other youngsters to listen to, but some of it I doubt, to be honest with you. And the best bit for me was the last 10 or 15 minutes when the old guys turn up, and that sort of just about pulled it round for me, made it worth the almost 2 hours of watch time watching it, just to see the old guys at the end or partway through in the actual situation of Aykroyd, who actually appeared just very briefly as well. I was very disappointed. Of course, I expected it to doff its cap to the original. I did, but I expected a little bit of a different story. I didn't expect the same story. Instead of taking place in New York, takes place in small town America. I'm sorry, I don't understand as a screenwriter. I mean, it's beyond me. It's just beyond me how anyone can say this is a great a finish to the trilogy. It's not. It's just a rehash of the first one. It's not a finish to a trilogy at all. But there again, I do appear to be going against many, including fans of the original, if these reviews are to be believed, that they are written by the public and not people connected with the film itself. But those 10 out of 10s do worry me. As a film for the Stranger Things generation, if you like the Stranger Things, as I say, that for me, as the latest series, was getting a bit repetitive, and this is repetitive because it's just repeating what happened in the first one, but hey, it was a long time ago, so a lot of people haven't seen that. So for that teen horror section, if you like, it's okay, it's fine, but I'm not gonna give it a score, because I don't want to give it a bad score, because it is okay. Don't get me wrong, I could easily give it a 6 out of 10, but because I am so disappointed, I'm not even gonna bother give it a score. I'm just gonna unrate it again. So I was very unhappy with it. I was very disappointed with it, and as I say, it lost all the style and humour of the original, and just rehashed it for another generation, which is fair enough. But even that generation, I can imagine, would be a little bit bored with it at times. It did sort of drone on, and there was the chases of chasing the ghost to trap a ghost lasted it felt like 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know. It might not have been as long as that, but that's what it felt like to me anyway. But let me know what you think. If you're a fan of the original or you're not seeing the original, like I say, I can fully understand people quite liking this if they don't know anything about the original. But if you've seen the original and you still like this, okay, that's fair enough. But it's certainly not for me. Not for me, this one. I'm very, very disappointed. But I won't insult it by giving it a lower mark. As I said, it's just not my taste, unfortunately, because I'll just go back. Now, I'll never probably watch this one again. I'll just go back and watch the original. If I want to watch Ghostbusters again, I'll just go back and watch the original. I won't bother with this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. What are we going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel or perhaps you flick across, have a look at my Citizen channel, my football team, Manchester City. If you're interested at all. If you're not, don't worry, come back on here and join me. We'll have some better things coming, don't worry. I say it is what it is, isn't it, guys? It's all opinions, and that's fair enough. I mean, obviously, my opinion is I was very disappointed, especially when you look forward to a film. I like films where I don't know much about them and then I get pleasantly surprised. But when you get a film like this, which you've looked for, I mean, for a while, this has been obviously in the pipeline and been mentioned for a little while now, so I really did look forward to it. I look forward to seeing the old guys and appreciating a homage to the old guys, but not a rehash of the story, just set in a different place. It just wasn't good enough. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please, I only ask you one thing till we meet again. Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.